Hi, Coach Brian here with Coach's Corner, and today we're talking about the wonderful world of wetsuits, part two. We covered a lot in part one. We covered a lot about lubricants. We're not going to go over that much at all this time, but what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the best wetsuit for the application, care, washing, hanging, drying of your wetsuit, putting on, removing, and then maybe a little cold water prep. And we're going to discuss hoods, thermal caps, and booties with that. So just a quick start with wetsuits. The spring suits are ideal for warmer weather, and I don't race in a full suit. I only race in a spring suit or in a swim skin simply because the water's too warm here for it, and a full suit takes too long to get off, and we're going to look at that in upcoming portion of this video. But we're going to look at the best wetsuit for the application. Now, my swim skin's great for racing, and it no sleeve, shorts. Here it is. It's quick on, quick off. It's no fuss, no muss. The surfing wetsuit I don't race in anymore. I did race, but when you reach out, because it's not uptight around the neck, a buckle forms in the chest causing drag. So that's something you want to watch out for. If you're going to be swimming in a surfing suit, making sure that it doesn't cause excess drag. If that's all you have, that's all you have. You go ahead and use it, but in the future, look for maybe a swimming wetsuit. Wetsuits designed for swimming are a little thinner in the shoulders and the elbows. They're designed for more mobility, more flexibility when you're actually swimming. Whereas a surfing wetsuit doesn't provide as much mobility and flexibility in the joints of your arms and legs. Not that you're going to be kicking a lot, because we all know triathletes don't kick a lot. We save our legs for the bike and the run. Then I've got my spring suit, which is shorter arms, shorter legs. It's quick on, quick off. It's great, except it's really old. It's a trimmed down full suit. I talked to the owners of the manufacturer, and they said, just trim it. Because they don't no longer make a spring suit, and I was asking about that, and they said, just trim them. It's no problem. And so that's what I'm going to do in the future if I want one of their spring suits. That suit is 5 millimeters thick. It provides a lot of buoyancy, a lot of thermal protection. And so if I was to use that most of the winter, I probably wouldn't have a problem. Then there's the full suit, which, here it is tied around the neck, full arms, full legs. It's a bear to get on and off. The one I have is brand new, so it's a little difficult to zip up, as you'll see in the upcoming clip when I put it on and take it off. So it's appropriate for your colder water, maybe in your northern tier climates where you don't get warm water. Good morning. One of the things we're going to demonstrate is how to properly hose down your wetsuit. So I've got my old spring suit here, and what I'm going to do is, as if I had just gotten home from the beach where there's sand and salt and grass or whatever's on it, it's messy, and in order to make these things last a little longer, you need to hose them down. So simply put, you just want to make sure you get in there and you hose it off thoroughly. The next thing you want to do is turn it inside out, because all the salt and sand that was on the outside, probably on the inside too. So now it's inside out, and this fabric actually probably has more salt and debris on it than you realize. It has more on it than the outside, and it takes more time to thoroughly hose it down. The key is to get the whole thing completely rinsed off. And then you got to hang it. So we have a nice hanger here, and it's a nice thick hanger, so it's not going to put too much stress on one part of the wetsuit. I'm trying to do this out without getting completely soaked. And then hang it around the midsection where it's thicker, so you're putting less stress on the thinner part. So it's below the armpits and above the legs, and then you can hang it outside someplace, preferably not in the sun for too long. It's going to dry pretty fast. This is fast drying material. If it's cold outside or rainy outside, you can hang it in the shower or someplace else. And once it stops dripping, you can just hang it someplace in the house where it can continue to dry out. All right? You don't want to put this in your closet wet because it's going to mildew, it's going to smell. You can also, well, I'm next to a pool. I can, if it's just a little bit of salt and sand on it, I can just dip it in the pool. That's low chlorine. It's not going to hurt the wetsuit whatsoever. You don't want to put it in a bath of really intense chemicals because, again, it can break down the neoprene. All right? So let's move on. It's a spring suit, a sleeveless, and it goes on very easily, just like the other one did. Bring it on. You roll and pull. Get your legs up all the way. One shoulder in and the other shoulder in. It's very thin and zipping up much the same way. Arch your back a little bit, close your shoulder blades all the way up, and then this one has a good latch. And make sure you get that Velcro down below this line, otherwise that's going to cause scratching on your neck. Okay, so quick and simple. This is a swim skin. It's a neoprene swim skin, so it does count as a wetsuit. Unlike a fabric swim skin that doesn't count as a wetsuit. And I've got one of those, but we're not going to go into that right now. So again, to get out of this one, you're going to reach back. You're going to find the lanyard. You tear that open, down, down, and basically all the way down to the ground. Step out, grab it, throw it on your bag. Okay? It's time to get in my big wetsuit and get ready. Now, water's not that cold yet, but we're going to practice a few things for cold water swimming as well. So, the first thing we're going to do is grab the wetsuit, and I've got it folded down partially. I'm going to fold it down all the way, get it ready to put on. And one of the issues is getting a good start at it. And oftentimes, use of a plastic grocery bag is a big help to get the feet through. So I'm not using any of my body glide today. I'm not using any tri-slide. I'm just doing this kind of raw so you can see how it's done. Get the foot in the bag, push the leg through, and pops right out. That makes it a lot easier overall. Getting the other leg aligned, so we make it quick and easy. And you can do this sitting in a chair, but I didn't bring a chair. Getting your leg hold, grabbing it. Now I curl up and grab it. You got to watch out for your nails. If you got long nails, you might want to put a set of wetsuit gloves on. Pull it up, pop the foot out, get the bag off. Pull it down to the proper length. Now you're going to be pulling this wetsuit up, so you want to have your ankles at the proper length that you want them. Now I've got this trimmed so that I could put my timing chip on my ankle if I were going into a race. Get yourself up. Okay, we've got the wetsuit on again, and we're going to do a little bit of practice for when we actually have to swim in cold water. The water's not that cold, but it's time to demonstrate this. So those of you who are in colder climates that still want to swim, have this little trick up your sleeve. So here I have about a gallon of tepid water. It's lukewarm. It's not cold. It's not really warm. It's tepid. And we fill the wetsuit. Now, it feels cool going in, but it's a lot warmer than the water you're going to be jumping into. And it's going to fill your wetsuit up a little bit at a time. And I don't advise pouring it all in at once because you want to make sure you get it in all the right places. And you may not even need the whole gallon. It's going to fill up a lot of those voids, and some of it's going to leak out the ankles, but that's okay. And then buckle your wetsuit up. I've got body glide around my neck already, so essentially I'm ready to get in the water now. All I need is my swim cap and goggles on, and I'm out there. So that's how you do some of these little tricks, tips, and hacks on how to get ready for that cold water. Now, I didn't get a lot of water in my arms yet. Those are the least, but my body's already wet, and I've got the tri-kit underneath it. So that's holding a lot of water right next to my body. So the water that's going to come in as I'm swimming isn't going to displace that water. It's just going to come in and fill a lot of the voids that aren't, like my arms. My legs are full. My torso's full, and I'm pretty good. All right, well, that's that trick. We'll go for more stuff after this. Okay, there's not much more. I mean, we've put a couple wetsuits on, taken them off. The plastic bag method helps. Using, I don't have it in here anymore. The tri-slide will definitely help with removing the wetsuit. So those are the tips I have. If you have questions, I'm available to answer questions. You can get a hold of me on, you can leave a comment or get a hold of me at coachbrianscorner@gmail.com. One more thing, obviously. there's always one more thing. When you get a wetsuit, it comes with a name, a place to put your name. Put your name in there and your cell phone number in there, or a number that's you're going to permanently have to be gotten a hold of. These things have been left behind, I don't know how many times, and unless you have that name in there, nobody knows who to get it back to.